I'm Evelyn. I'm a nurse and ECMO specialist in the cardiac ICU, and today I am going to be going over doing dressing changes on ECMO cannulas. So to start, what you're going to need is a bottle of sterile saline, 2 sterile bowls, a dressing for your patient, chlorhexidine soap, half a sterile drape, sterile gloves, and some super sponges. You're also going to need to be wearing a bouffant and a mask just for demonstration purposes. I'm keeping the mask off, hopefully so you can understand me a little bit better on the video. So first thing, we are going to start by making our sterile field. I'm going to use this as a bedside table. I'm going to grab my half drape. And this is where we'll set up our sterile field. Then we are going to open our bowls. And our super sponges. Open up our dressing. This is the Tagaderm dressing with a CHG patch embedded in. And then we'll get our sterile gloves set up. Ready to go. We'll open our saline. Pour saline into both of our bowls. And then we will put a pump of soap into one of them. So next thing we'll want to do is put on a pair of clean gloves. And we'll start by removing our old dressing. You can see our cannula here. Our dressing is clean, dry, and intact. There's no drainage. That means this clear dressing was good for 7 days. If it ever has blood or starts to peel up or looks soiled, you would remove it before that 7-day date and apply a new one. On real skin, our CHG patch would come off, but on our mannequin, it's a little bit stuck. So we'll just pretend our whole dressing came off, and we're going to look at our insertion site, which we already said was clean and dry. We can see a suture at the site of insertion. We can see this one is loose, so we're gonna need our providers to come and re-suture this. And this guy is starting to look a little loose too. Maybe we've been diuresing our patient. It wouldn't hurt to have them tighten this suture down as well. And then for our ECMO cannulas, per our policy and procedure, which we have printed out right next to us for reference, there should be one more suture. So we would let our providers know that this cannula needs a little bit of attention. So after we have our old dressing off, we can get ready to start our dressing change. So we will pop on a pair of sterile gloves. And then we'll come on over to our bedside table. And the way this is going to work is it is going to be a wash, rinse, and dry kind of procedure. So we're going to use our sponges here. We're gonna dip in, nice and close, get some soapy water, wring it out, and we are gonna start scrubbing at the insertion site. We're gonna start right over the site, and we're gonna move in an outward fashion. We wanna make sure we're not moving from the outside in, where we would be introducing bacteria from the outside towards the tip of the cannula. We're gonna give it a nice scrub. Move outwards. And then we'll repeat. Then we'll use our bowl of just saline and we'll rinse. Same kind of direction, we'll start from the inside and kind of move towards the outside. Just make sure we've got it nice and rinsed. Make sure our skin isn't gonna get irritated. And then we'll use our last sponges to pat dry, going from the insertion site out. So since we're clean, dry, and intact, we are okay to go and put another transparent dressing on. You can see this cannula has a gauze dressing on. That's a whole nother policy and procedure, but that's what we would use if our site were bleeding. So from here, once we're dry, we need the gel of the patch to cover the insertion site, and we'll place it over the top. We'll use this part of the dressing to come under our cannula if we can. Sometimes that's not possible, and that's okay. Our top priority is to make sure we don't dislodge the cannula in any way. We'll slide this right up. Place it down. Peel our wings away, and then we can mark our dressing with our date, time, and initials. And this part should go right over the connection between the wing and the bottom dressing. And that's how we do an ECMO dressing.